because I wanted to put him down a little better. Basically, right. And with that example, are you streets?
Does it work does it still work? Do we feel support you with like going and the same thing? Or does it have to be good again?
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave the biggest kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're the sexist, not me. It was like, yeah, but right. Because I wanted to put him down a little better. Basically, right. And with that example, are you streets?
Does it work does it still work? Do we feel support you with like going and the same thing? Or does it have to be good again?
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave the biggest kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're the sexist, not me. It was like, yeah, but right. Because I wanted to put him down a little better. Basically, right. And with that example, are you streets?
Does it work does it still work? Do we feel support you with like going and the same thing? Or does it have to be good again?
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave the biggest kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're the sexist, not me. It was like, yeah, but right. Because I wanted to put him down a little better. Basically, right. And with that example, are you streets?
Does it work does it still work? Do we feel support you with like going and the same thing? Or does it have to be good again?
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave the biggest kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say this.
So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're the sexist, not me. It was like, yeah, but right. Because I wanted to put him down a little better. Basically, right. And with that example, are you streets?
Does it work does it still work? Do we feel support you with like going and the same thing? Or does it have to be good again?
Even if you were going to be sarcastic.
Hello. I am Ned, and I am thrilled to be here. It is time for the Stanley Parable, which is one of my all-time favorite games, and they've released the Ultra Deluxe version. For those of you who don't know, the Stanley Parable, you know what? No, we're just going to experience it together, but the whole point of this game is the narrator. We're going to have a good time. I don't know the controls. We're starting from scratch. This stream is not sponsored by Polywork. I just realized I'm wearing this shirt. But they're dope. I'm an advisor to Polywork. They're a new LinkedIn competitor. And if you're looking to be an artist who also has a wide variety of hustles and skill sets that you want to promote in an online portfolio, check out Polywork. Message me for more details. Or actually, there's also details in my panels below in the About section. We're going to get going. We're going to dive in. Though, why the chat box? You're going to lose audio for a second. Oh. Well, that's not what we want. Sorry for taking away your audio for just like 2 seconds. Why are you like that? If I go like that, that's not what we want. Okay. I'm going to fix this real fast because we want the chat to look good. So let's fix that. I think that's going to break something on my next one, but I can figure that out later. Okay, and then we don't need it to be so wide. Oh, that was that's my bad. 625, and let's do 550. Nope, not quite. 500. Was 550 right? That looks okay. We'll run with that, and if it looks bad, I apologize. Done. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Here we go. Welcome to the Stanley. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, give me just 2 seconds. I have to fix this chat box thing because that's gonna be annoying. Yes, that is how we want it to look. We are going to turn that off. And then we've got this guy, which we're going to bring over here. And then we're going to open it. We're going to set it to, how's 300? Not enough. 350, still not enough. 400, that looks nice. And it needs to be a little taller. Can I get someone to chat for me just real fast, just so I can see what that looks like? That would be really great. If someone, hey, look at that. That looks fine. That's what I wanted from the beginning. All right, let's play the Stanley Parable. You can have your sound back. Woo! Here we go. All right. Yeah, man. Oh, we don't love a spinny wheel.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, I have stepped up. All right, we got this. Is there a jump button? All right, we can move, we can click. Let's just see if there's any... Can I have a control? Nope. Okay. Let's do it. I think that suggests that all you can do is walk and click, which is what I remember as well.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, so thus far I feel like we're on the pretty standard path, which, great, I love a standard path. Let's start slow and move up.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure, I'll play. Okay, what do we
Yet
got?
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Violent James, you are fired. This is wild. We need less reviews. 402 plus 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts needed to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net, some sort of child trap. Teenagers, size of demographics, space between the teenagers, which is a lot of percents. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bins or trash cans. Renaming of the ideas bin. Firing of me. Ugh. What is hot? Profits. Target demographic. Teenagers. Profits. 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 Okay. Less air to do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market. Para something. Monetize free to play. That's funny. I cannot see what's on that pie chart. That's probably important. Help, I'm a post-it. There's just like a lot going on in here. Targets, push for funding of R&D of new coffee machines, sure. Not cost efficient for a standardized graphs that are 40x wide. Get Chris out of the broom closet. We can probably do that ourselves. Who moved my desk? Don't know who that is. Please keep the top. Oh, someone erased that. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Right next day's agenda to reflect. Okay. Let's move onward. So Chris is in the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What if I don't? Yeah. Okay, I'm playing along this round. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Okay. I wanted to see Stanley, but I guess that's not a thing. Alright, so we are exploring. That door is open. What's behind the desk? Nothing. The beige pages. Okay. But what's through that door? Can I go through that door? No. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, it's really hard to input the numbers when I don't have a thing. I wonder if there's a setting to give myself a reticle. I'll give you guys bigger subtitles. There's no way to have a thing. Okay.
2845.
I'm trying.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And
Oh,
Stanley
cool.
got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I don't love this. I don't remember any of this. Wow, this game is dark. Should I turn this game up?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Can I go back up? No, we're playing along.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
If, despite adherence to Protocol 2A and Protocol 2B, an employee leaves the office during work hours and the system loop has failed, you must terminate. Wow. 122 got lost twice in the past week. Reinduction procedure authorized. 123, showing concern for employee. 122, check with system marker to see if scheduled. 180, spring and step, lower happiness values, check with R&D to see if this is caused by content patch. That's funny. It's a funny game.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, that's a good question. Ethereal voice. How do I get up there? Okay. What does this do?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, had he? Come on. Oh, I was looking at the ceiling. I thought it was loading. Okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible...
It's too dark. It's too dark. Give me a little more brightness. I can't from here. I will just deal with it.
...power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Sure. What does this do? Where's one? I got buttons. I got buttons. There's 3. How do I get through? I can't see anything. Alright, here's 1 and 2. Three was back over here. Four. Where's 4? Just assuming 4 is over here by the process of, I don't know, gaming. 4 is up there. How do I get up there? Can't see well enough to figure that out. Okay. Seems to be right here. Is not. Can I sneak under here? I literally can't see anything. Okay. I see a staircase. Ugh. After this round, I am going to I'm gonna move on because I can't see, but I am gonna pause after this round to try and make it lighter. Because woof, there's something I couldn't do because I couldn't find my way. Okay, we're in the mind control.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for this round of Stanley. What happens now? Oh, I'm getting another loading screen.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
That's deep.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
That's pretty.
Whatever
dark.
life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Is that it? Is that the first ending? All right, we got some achievements. Beat the game, get your first achievement. Done. So we're going to go back to the menu real quick to try and make it just a little brighter. Oh, I can't even do it here. Well, I had to set it when I first launched the game. I don't want to reset. Subtitles are on. Large. I don't know. So we're just going to keep going. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
We've watched it. We're doing it again. Here we go. So this time, what'll we do different?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Do the same
What
thing,
could it
but
mean?
we'll say on.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to turn on the mind control machine and see how that varies the ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So in here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
How dare you? How dare you, narrator?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay. Okay. Then we took this elevator.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Damn right I do, ethereal voice.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Okay, so then we
But
run
here
to
was the
facility
proof,
power.
the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
All right, so now we're
and as the
turning
cold reality of his
on
past began to sink in,
control.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Oh, you literally
What's
can't
that?
get up to 4.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go
I
around
have?
will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this
But I
so
didn't do
much.
anything.
You
Is
know
there a
what?
sixth?
To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Ah,
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved?
What's
Do you
happening?
have any idea
gotta
what
be a
your
way to
purpose
do
in
it.
this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of
Button
watching a
hit, activate
cutscene because I want to watch
orange
you for every
71.
moment that you're powerless. To see
is
you
orange
made
71?
humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it
3 attempts
first,
remaining.
so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
whoa. I want to do that again because I want to beat him. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can do it. What's the secret? Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
What is happening?
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
I am also very excited.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Doesn't the elevator move?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
only jump when I'm in the circle. What's around back here? Nothing. Oh, and now I can't jump anymore. Okay. It's back here.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Another elevator.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Yeah, I'm
it's
with you,
just
Stan.
elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Tell me who to tweet at.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay. What else can I find? I still want to beat the mind control. Oh! This is new. Okay. Okay.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
We're playing along with the voice for now. That is the choice that we are making. We have yet to fight the voice. Okay. What do we got?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
What is
Take a
happening?
look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
What is happening?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Okay. It's funny. This is nice. Don't play for 5 years. Very funny. It's impossible to get this achievement. It's nice music. Why is the piano up there?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I have a choice. It's not a real choice. Okay. Sure.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Why did... I can't get through there. Can't get out there, so I guess I have to go back the way I came.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can
Kinda
tell me if
preachy,
I'm
man.
preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Don't feel like a
Perhaps
failure.
the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Okay, where are we headed next? What are you leading me to, game?
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I don't want to use it. I don't want it. I like the narrator. Anything back here?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
The
No, I'm
story
not gonna do
and
it.
the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably,
he keeps
we
going.
all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and
Do
therefore
we
by
think
becoming
it
it is,
ever
so on and
stops
so
looping?
forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
Thereby,
It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back,
subtitles, right?
and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
Why are you manifesting?
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise,
Here's the
manifesto.
question. Again,
Treatise, manifesto.
does anything happen if
Treatise,
I wait it out?
manifesto.
I don't think so.
Treat. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something along the lines of, "This game is the best game." Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow! Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door, as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
I'm in a
right
let's
back.
listen to the narrator mood in this new content of the Stanley Parable. We're just gonna chill and not press the skip button, and we're gonna see what that does for us. I don't know how that's gonna go. It may take a really long time. I sort of have to pee. What if I left real fast, came back, and the game was still going? What if? Something's gotta work, right? I just feel like at some point, not pressing the skip button is going to get me something. And here we have it, the game at its core. Do you force the game forward, or do you hope that the game's going to catch up? The Stanley Parable in a nutshell. Wild. Wild. I did what you asked, voice. I haven't pressed the skip button. How long can I take it, though? I have to pee. I'm on camera. There's no one in chat. It's a lot of things you're asking of me. Alright, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit the be right back for 2 seconds, and we're going to see if something happens while I'm gone. I'll be right back. Am I correct in thinking that we have heard nothing while I've been gone? It's 30 seconds left. I might be right back, but I am going to end it because we need to move on. Here we go. So, given that, I think I'm going to press the button.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem?
It's a great question.
Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine.
Screw
I
Cookie
have
Nine.
no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Again, I wonder if he comes back, if I just wait. It's so hard to guess what will actually find me something in this game. Sorry for the noise in the background. I have to have my windows open because unfortunately I have COVID. And I have to keep air flowing at all times inside this closed room away from my wife. I have played the original, yes. By the way, welcome, Octopus Totem. I have played the original. This is the new content. We are in a new content, and the narrator has taken me to a world where he stored all the reviews from 2013, and a lot of them asked for a skip button, so he's delivered me one, but it's breaking. And it's breaking reality, and he asked me not to press it and to sit here in silence with him. And I'm trying to decide if there is a branching path that I can get by answering his request, or if all I can do is press the button. And I think all I can do is press the button. So I'm gonna press the button.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible, the spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid, as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Got anything else to say, man? 'Cause I really want to make sure I experience everything before I press this button. All right. Button's no longer lit up. I don't want to press it again before I see if he's going to pop back. Clock is dead. Okay. That's awful. Has that always been there? That is a terrible sound. He's trying to teach me about his experience, the bastard.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, "He's talking too much," they said. "First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world." As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it." And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison, perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But
Alright, what are we doing now, voice?
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
What? Is there an exit yet? Can I get out? Wow. Use this ladder, please. What is happening? Oh. Hey! Is the button gonna turn back on though? So I'll press it again now. Alright, well, let's see where we are. Oh, we are in the middle of a desert. Can't climb the building. Okay. Let's go this way. Let's do some looking. How far will they let me go? Oh. I think I found it. The end. Alright, we're back. We're back in what seems to be the normal game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So I still wanted to go back to the mind control room and try and new content. Well,
Oh,
sucker.
good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
No childhood heroes today. Today we're Stanley parabling, and the narrator is taking me through a wild game of the new content for the Stanley Parable. Which the last time we did this, it was an elevator and the ability to jump 37 times. That's it.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it
Yeah, they
one
released a
step
new one
even
yesterday.
further. Which is why I'm
Stanley
very
Parable
proud to
Ultra
announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
What? Why?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Okay. I mean, that's clever. I like that.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Okay. Can't go this way. Okay. Stanley Parable 2. I really liked these last times. What do we got? Paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, envelope, client-centric marketing. Wow. The color red. We have sequential mindshare, win-win, more TSP, better TSP, 1 to 2. They're back 2 doors. The one where the lines in the B and the L are the 2 is really dumb. Alright. Okay. So, voice, what do we got going on?
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Okay, we're going to the show floor. Do I sit down? That's a bus. Thank you for the heads up. I had it turned down earlier. I guess I forgot to turn it back on. Okay. Let's see what's up these stairs. Okay.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. Let's start. We'll go left to right. Hear my name in the game. If I go through that door, am I not going to be able to come back? Let's look around. Nope, no screenshots. New office. Red is the new orange. Updated ray trace mostly in a good way. Okay, new features, new content, new ideas. Jump circle, we already have. Infinite hole. This question is, what's this way? The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket, August Decorations, and the Infinite Hole. Let's do the reassurance bucket. Okay.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Okay.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh, well, okay.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
So now I have the bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I would buy this t-shirt is the best new feature. I would buy that right now. Okay, let's hear my name in the game. Oh, what's this? I don't think they want... Oh, epilogue. Do they want me in here? Let's do it.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
There's the infinite hole. So we have settings, world champion, free achievement. I want an achievement. I just get to go in here and there's an achievement? Pull the lever, get an achievement. Okay.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist.
Oh, come
right
on.
now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
What a letdown. I've still got the bucket. Okay. So that didn't get me what I wanted.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Jump circle. I have no more jumps remaining, though.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Funny.
Oh well.
That's
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh, I wasted all my jumps the first time around. Oh. That's a funny pickup from before. It would be funny if I still had just had the bucket. Alright, what else can I find? I want to hear my name in a game. Where was that? Was that this way? Yeah. I want you to tell me my name. Let's figure it out. How does this work?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Sure. What's my name?
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I
Jim.
want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's
That's me waking
possibilities
up
as
as
Jim,
Jim.
and as
That was
Jim
acting.
watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again. Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's
be
take
awesome
a break
if
from
my
the
name
Jim
was
button.
Jim.
I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Jim. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Well, goodbye, Jim button. Alright, what else do we got out here? See you in a sec, Octopus. Okay, can't take screenshots. Knew that. Haven't done the
I suppose I
epilogue
could
yet.
allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
What does this say? Office decorations.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I don't know. Get Well Someday is kind of funny, but Happy 12th Birthday Stepniece is always a good bit.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Okay. Okay. Well, this has been really rude. How dare you? Okay. Oh, now everything is Get Well Someday. Cool.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
No, switch it back. I liked the other one. It was funnier.
Come now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly.
No,
but
I
we all
didn't.
have to move on from our mistakes.
I made the right choice. Let me make it again. I want the other balloon. No, I'm going back. See if I can get him to talk to me again. Nope. Alright. Fine. Okay. There's Stanley. Just rotating. Very Portal reminiscent. Jump circle. There's an exit. Well, then let's go through the epilogue door and see what happens. What's up here? The bucket's very loud. Setting world champion. Yeah. Why can't I go through the settings world champion door? What's happening? I would like to be the settings world champion, please. That's new. All right, what you got? Oh, we're back to the epilogue door. Okay, so it looks like what it wants me to do is jump into the infinite hole. Let's see what's going on with collectibles. I'm gonna go try. No, I'm gonna go see what's going on this way. Collectibles. Collect them all. Oh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Well, look, I've got a number on my screen and all y'all's screen I'm trying to get up. Tell your friends to come give me a follow. Oh, shit. 1 of 6? Wait, I want the other 5.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely.
Wait, where are the other 5?
Tragic.
Hold up. I'm not done with you yet. I don't want to exit. I want the collectibles. Is there one in the jump circle? No. Is there one in the free achievement? I want my collectible. Does he talk to me for coming back to where I've already been? No. Okay. Okay. What's in here? No, screenshots. Oh, this is just going backwards through the office. Okay. I think I found everything but the infinite hole. Well, Stanley Parable 2, you've been really fun. I think it's time. Okay. Educational. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Yeah. I don't really want to fall infinitely. All right.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nope. We're gonna do this.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
No. We're gonna keep falling till that hole is gone. Oh! I just looked.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out,
Why isn't there a
Stanley.
collectible down here?
I'm a
Wow,
liar
that's
and a
cigarettes.
cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why
can't
don't
talk.
we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Come on back. Also, I'm going to let everyone know that once I finally do decide to press this button and I go back to the top, I'm going to jump back in immediately. Like, instantly. So, there's that. Got anything else to say to me, man?
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Goodbye.
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't
did.
help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
Look, we all know what's
I really do
happening
have
next.
so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but how is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the teleport button not working?
It's not working.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nope.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Wait, but I have the bucket. Are there endings where you have to reset the game? Oh. What's that? What's happening? Oh. Hole's going down. That's a thing. That's a lot. Also, look at Stanley. He's not holding the bucket anymore. Change. Nightbot, you're too much. Sorry, runs on Scotch. And go.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger.
I want to jam again. Give me back a jam song. It's definitely not this. Where are the good tunes? Oh. Oh. What else is in here? That's horrifying. That is awful. Oh, I'm, okay. I'm on my head. Ah!
Stanley?
Puppies!
Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there.
Why would you take the
drifting
puppies
away
away?
into Greenland. But we can't have that, Stanley. Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
This dude sucks.
From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle pip.
Toodle pip. Is it just that on a loop? The hole will start going down. I'll get the. Oh no, we ended. Yeah. Ah! We're only back to the top of the Stanley Parable 2.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay, so now it says gym again. But it's a little different because they acknowledge that it says gym outside. Oh, and there's no button. I made the button go away. Okay. I still have the bucket. There was the one door I couldn't get through, right? The the settings world champion. So let's check that out. There it is. I wonder if I can give the reassurance bucket back, if that does something. Mostly infinite hole. Very funny. Wonder if they fixed the free achievement yet. Can't go in there. Is there something in the settings? Okay. I wonder if you have to, like, adjust everything on the settings once before this door will open. Alright, let's get the free achievement. Still doesn't work. Okay. Okay. So, we found some stuff. Jumps. I still have no jumps left. Okay. Is there another collectible for me to get? No, this door's still closed. There's the exit. Before I exit, we're gonna try the mostly infinite hole one more time. Oh wait, let's see if my balloons are still here. They are. Can I change my choice? Nope. Narrator, I'm going back to the hole. Does that upset you? Oh, you closed the hole? Gave me music, though. Let's see if I can give back the bucket. That's new. Can't put it back. Just have a bucket for the rest of time. I don't ever play the Bradbury Connection. Same vibe of this space. Okay. We're going up the exit.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Left their briefcase.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
I love it.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Whoa! Whoa! What? This is wild.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Is this going to be different?
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Now, I do remember from the first game, if you don't leave the office, he yells at you, which I think is funny. So we're going to let that happen for a second. Well, Octopus, hey, we got the balloons. We're in the Stanley Parable 2. It's not the balloons I picked, but it's the balloons we ended up with. Okay. When does the voice yell at me for not leaving? I like Mondays, not gonna lie. Oh, the sequel is now paused. That's cool. F1? What does that do? Nothing. I thought maybe I found something. I did not. Voice. Stanley's not leaving his room. Alright, I'm leaving. There was one door that I remember you could back up before it closed, and if you did it, this door would open.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is this one? There's the bucket. I'm taking the bucket. I can't take the bucket?
Stanley picked up the bucket.
What door was it?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So thus far in my playthrough, I have only obeyed the voice. So I think I'm going to keep going left.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Okay. There's nothing in the broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
What?
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
It's my bucket.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no.
I won't.
Getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Okay.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, "Ah, it's a bucket." There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Anything else? Nope.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies.
Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay, I think that's all we're gonna get out of him. As Octopus said earlier, rule of threes.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to input, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
All right, so I'm gonna go back down the stair, or the elevator. So when we get down to this facility, I'm going to make the same choice that gave me the timer, and there was a clue that was trying to teach me how to beat the timer.
The elevator raced downward,
so I'm going to need anyone
plummeting
who's here's help
towards an
figuring it
unknown
out
fate.
in the chat.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together,
It said
if not
orange
for the
71
bucket.
equals
Soothing him,
button.
comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
So I come down here, press the next button.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Oh, I'm now the reassurance bucket for the bucket. That's nice. I like that.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Don't call me feeble.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
It's a lot of new content.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Kick ass. Okay, so there are these numbered buttons 1 to 5. So there's 1 on the left, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't get up to 4 right now. And I tried pressing them in order before and it did nothing, but I feel confident it has to do something. So, we're going to come in here and we're going to turn it on. Though I guess I haven't escaped with the bucket.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
No.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Oh!
Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
What? Left or right, everybody? I think we're going left.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, that's a silly bird. A silly bird for sure. Is anything different? I don't see anything different.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps
That's new.
rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
That's new. What's changed? The bucket has stickers now. Do I continue to need my bucket? I think I continue to need my bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So this is the door I remember now that I can get back out of, and I'm gonna try and see what happens.
Stepping in...
Okay. Can we go into the bathroom? Oh, this is new. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. So we go back the way we came. I remember the first time I found this, I thought I broke the game. It was so exciting. All right. Did it. I'm leaving. Floor 760. All right, let's go. It's so dark. Okay, I got 3 more floors to go. All right. I like being able to see something. Oh. So this is one of the ways they got the new stuff, is to have the bucket or not have the bucket. Dictates choice. I'm letting the bucket escape and not me? Wow. Wow. Okay, so what happens if I do that exact same ending again, but without the bucket? Let's find out. Ah! What? Why? Ah! Why am
All
I...
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Everything's
decided
different.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Why? What?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
They're not
he
letting me
entered
have
the
the
door
bucket,
on
I
his left.
guess.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So this is very interesting. 'Cause what? First of all, did this change? Oh my god, I found a collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of
Hey!
these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
No, that is
You
very
can't buy
pleasureful.
that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment
Yeah,
you
this
come
feels
across
great.
one of these beautiful
Only got 4
figurines.
left. Okay. Oh! That's a gun to a panda's head. And that's our business strategy. It's messed up. Okay, so we're gonna try and get that same.
Okay, I think we all...
Did it. Wait, what? So what happens now? Because I did that with a different opener. Like, I can't go all the way back like I just did because it doesn't exist. Unless it does again? New content's back. But I can't go in. Yeah, we're back to the base, but without a bucket. Okay. So now I can go back in my favorite. I gotta run up 6 flights of stairs, but I don't have a bucket anymore. I wish there was like a chart where you could track all of your exits. Okay. Three more. This time I'll walk at it. There it is. It went black on me. I didn't get to experience it? I wanted to go off in the rocket. Why?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
That said replacement bucket. Is it because I sent one off into space? Alright, we're leaving the bucket behind.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is new. Lots of boxes, stairs, someone jumps there, someone below the red and blue. Okay, so there's one. Wow, okay. So there's one in a large room full of boxes, one at a stair place, Somewhere both red and blue, nearby a fireplace. It says there will be a reward, but there's not. Yeah, I found one earlier. They're called Figlies. Red room. Where is there a red room? Maybe we are the collectibles. I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular offices. Is there local studios using an array of cardioid microphones? Regulate the source of the strange noise. Data shows that in all likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. I also picked up what looks to be reverberance off a porcelain surface. Employee 421 is building a bridge. Okay. Trust the completionist instinct. I will. Okay. How dare you? Doesn't want me in the broom closet anymore.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we're going to try one last thing. Oh! That's new.
Here's the door.
So we've now done this 3 times. Once with the bucket, once finding the collectible, and now once just me. I wonder if I can now pick up the bucket. Okay. The bucket's here. I have taken
And
the
try
bucket.
not to lose this one too, you dolt.
How dare you? So then we run up the stairs. I'm gonna try every single one of these red doors because I'm looking for a red room. This whole game is an Easter egg. I think that's what's fun about it, is no matter what you do, it feels like you've discovered something. Red rum. I feel like right now, given that I sound like Barry White had sex with a mosquito, like is the perfect time for me to do the red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Yes, you did. You cannot escape it. Okay. So what happens this time? Do I put the replacement bucket in here? Yes. And then I stroke it lovingly. So now we're going to try it one more time, but this time I'm not going to take the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Meeting
Stanley
today.
decided to go to the meeting room.
Figurine
Perhaps he had
Finders
simply missed a
Committee.
memo.
Oh, there's no more bucket. The bucket's gone forever. Oh, no. When will I get the bucket back? The comfort bucket. Reassurance bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. So we're still finding the figurines. The broom closet's still boarded up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
After I do this one thing, then I will continue exploring the game. But I need to know what happens here.
Here's the door.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Alright, so that's changed back. Okay. So now I have to run up 6 flights of stairs. That's very funny. No, that was worth it. Thank you. But in my head, I'll have you know, and this is, you know, hold on. I have to Google something real fast. Yeah, that's what I thought. In my head, that didn't come out to Barry White. I heard that to the tune of Can't Get Enough of You, Baby by Smash Mouth off the hit album Astro Lounge. I can't get enough of your blood, babe. I can't get enough of your blood, babe. Right-o wrong. Bow down, down, bow. A baby, right-o wrong. I'm so sorry. It feels worth it, though, you know? Like, it feels like that was acceptable to me. Also, shout out to Astro Lounge. It holds up. It's a good album. It just ends. It doesn't let me have an animation, just the bucket. How upsetting. That's sad. All right, now I'm going to continue forward. Has anything else changed?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
Bucket's
the
back.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want the bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
I didn't lose it. I shot it off on a rocket to the moon.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah. It really, really flew by under the radar, if you know what I'm saying.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee
All right,
we'd
so I've
be
caught
in
him in
here
a
for
loop, so that's
hours.
done.
But alas,
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Still shooting a panda in the head is the business strategy. Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So we go down. So now that I have the bucket, I don't think I can turn on the mind control, and I don't want to do the silly birds ending again. So this time we're going to turn mind control off. We're going to see how that goes. Honestly, 2 solid point and clicks in a row, guys. This is... Oh, no, this is correct. It seems...
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I'm more weirded out by the top screens, you know? Screens aren't that creepy, but the random ones that keep going up high?
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored
There's
like
the red
guinea
room.
pigs.
Where is that?
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Yeah, stop calling me feeble, man.
No! He screamed into the bucket.
I like the idea
he
that
couldn't accept it.
Screamed into
His
the bucket
own
like I
life
held
in
it up to
someone
my face.
else's
Like,
control.
no!
Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no
really
one
dunks on
except
Stanley a lot.
for the bucket.
Lot of dunking.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Oh, yeah,
happy,
this game is
or
great.
sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
That's true.
For he and the
turning it
bucket
off.
would dismantle the controls for good. 2 best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Get it, bucket. What happened?
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the 2 of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
What?
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any
That's
movie,
a very
but
funny
then
line.
stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh, no.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
Come on.
Until
man.
finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it.
Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Woof. Okay. So now I'm going to go back down there, but without the bucket. No! It's the new opener again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wah! Welcome to the whiteboard ending dog mode? What? What? I found a dog mode?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
There's the bucket. Do I take the bucket with dog mode? Is that too much? Or do I go bucketless like my original plan? I just spent 5 whole seconds wondering what ARFL meant. ARF. Yes, that is correct. ARF. Remember when we found the whiteboard ending? Full dog mode run. Great.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wait, what did I just get? How do I see? I got an achievement called You Can't Jump. Can someone Google what You Can't Jump means?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I got the feeling. Money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. It's very funny. Still a panda with a gun. Huh. Alright, I guess I pressed spacebar a couple times.
Here's the door, just go.
No, I want to put in the code. Thanks, Nightbot. Oh, I can? Wait, but that's the right code. How dare you? So shout out to me who was able to enter the code without seeing it. It's a self-high five. Is it still dog mode after the new loading screen? Oh no. It sure is.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That was my dramatic reading of your text in chat.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Honestly, don't know.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
For everyone's knowledge, I'm probably going to bounce at 5 o'clock Eastern, so
This
it's
mind
14
control
minutes.
facility, it was too horrible to believe.
I do
it
think we're
couldn't
going to
be
raid
true.
at the end of this.
Had
I've been
Stanley
wanting to go
really
say
been
hey
under
to that
someone's
King
control
Bunny,
all this time?
also known as
Was
Jay
this the only
Schmidt?
reason he was happy with his boring job?
good
That his
friend of mine,
emotions had been
fellow
manipulated
college
to
graduate,
accept it blindly?
And I hope you all will join me in raiding Jay for a little bit.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I've got a lot to
Here was the
uncover in this
proof,
game.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
All right, everyone, I'm going to need your help figuring out how to beat this guy once I click this button. So, eyes up, please.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
That's a 10.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Dark Blue 3.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Green.
I erased them.
Active
I turned
button
off the
equals
machine. I set
green
you free.
2.
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Active button hint equals red 3.
What's the matter, Stanley?
Button
Is it
hint
that you have no
provided.
idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button
Where
to
is the
button,
red
screen
one?
to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
What?
But you really believe there's an answer?
How many times will you replay this?
Red,
looking
oh my God.
desperately for a solution? 10, 100, 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail.
Blue 3
Just
or green
you and
3?
me
Blue
in a
3 or green
fletching
3?
Explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again.
Does anyone remember?
And Stanley
no!
died again.
I lost.
And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds
All right,
until
now
a
I
big
think I
boom
know how
and
it works. So it's
no
red
enemy,
on computer
just
screen
you being
1,
blown to pieces.
yellow on
Will
2,
you cling
blue
desperately
on
to your
3,
frail life?
green
or will
on
you let it go
4.
peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
All right, we're doing it again. That was so close. Felt good about it.
Even now,
Okay.
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
It was a photo.
He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So I have yet to go through the right door, and I have yet to go down the stairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Thanks. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exist. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
All right, here we go.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about
that's not what I wanted.
About me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
It took it away?
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway.
No.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Yellow is for...
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons
Pinkish
endlessly
purple?
and then dying
It's not even an option.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Are these guys back
yet? Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
3 attempts
running
of
from
what?
button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
What does that even
These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button.
Passcode entering
or this door. Everything, anything.
What is this?
Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
I really thought I had it. So it's red, green, blue, yellow. Ugh. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So,
What
I
did
didn't get
mean?
it, but
Stanley
I think
decided
that
to go to the
I'm,
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I am going to call it here, I believe. Thank you for coming out. I'm Ned. Stay connected. I'll be streaming again tomorrow in the evening, probably around 5 o'clock Eastern. I'll be streaming Wildermyth, continuing through that game. I am going to... You're going to lose audio for a second because I'm going to go see if there's anyone fun that we could raid and say hi to. Please come with me. Please say hi to them. And thank you for tuning in again. And, you know, I'm going to put up the ending screen, but don't go anywhere. I'm going to raid. Yeah. Oh no, Jay is no longer live, which means I don't have the ability to do that. So I'm gonna go find someone fun to raid real fast. Give me just a sec. Maybe we'll go raid someone. Playing Stanley Parable. Let's see what's going on. Stanley Parable. Yeah, there's got to be something fun going on in here. We will drop in over with this person. Looks like they're having a good time. They are also playing Stanley Parable, and we're going to go say hi. Oh, nope. Let's see. I'll take that recommendation. Jezzy, please. Anyone else ready to come with us? I'm going to click the button in 10 seconds. Here we go.